All right, so you just graduated residency, you got your big toolbox with all your shiny new tools, and you're ready to apply them to patients. But then you start talking to your mentor, some other colleagues in the clinic, maybe a residency director, and you start to realize that those tools are in fact not shiny, they're old, used, worn out, outdated. What gives? Well, it turns out that a lot of what you learn in school isn't necessarily going to be the best level evidence. And it's not to the fault of your professors or the school. Their job is for you to pass boards. It doesn't matter how good of a clinician you are, if you don't pass that examination, the MPTE, it's irrelevant. And unfortunately, curriculums are slow to update, test questions are slow to evolve, just with the whole process that is the schooling system right now. And so you're going to learn a lot of information, or you have learned a lot that may not be best practice. Doesn't mean it's all a waste. There's a lot of great information, but there's a lot that can be abandoned. Yet, if you look across the country, there's still a lot of really poorly efficacious treatments being used that were taught in school. What gives? Why are we still using them? A lot of it comes down to the sunk cost fallacy, student debt. Now, we all are aware of how detrimental a $1.6 trillion price tag has on the economy, or how you having this houseless mortgage payment essentially is impacting your own budget. But it's more than just the financial implications. Sunk cost impacts the quality of care we give too. Right? That really what a sunk cost fallacy is that any past investment of either time, money, effort, some resource, that investment creates a draw to that skill or whatever you received in turn for the investment, and you don't want to let it go. And in fact, you are more apt to invest more time, more money, more resources, more effort into that skill, into that whatever you invested in, because you'd already made a previous one. And so we look back on what we learned in school and go, hold on, I've got 6 figures of debt. There's no way I'm not going to use everything that I learned in school. I'm going to get my value out of it. That's not going to help you develop professionally or personally, and it's not going to help your patients. So instead, focus on the positive that you did gain. 1, school is a barrier to entry into the profession. You got your degree. Now you can treat your patients. That's one of the big ones. Right? There are going to be other things, whether it be relationships that you build. Some of the strongest professional relationships I have are professors from Emory. I have the added benefit that I met my wife in PT school, so I'm clearly never going to regret going to Emory. But every time that money gets withdrawn from my account, say for this short little break because of COVID, it hurts. I get it. But that doesn't mean that we should keep using the treatments that we learned in school if they are not best evidence. Instead, think like Daniel Kahneman, who is the author of the most influential book I've ever read in my life, Thinking Fast and Slow. And he wrote that a rational decision maker is interested only in the future consequences of current investments. Justifying earlier mistakes is not among the econ's concerns. Now, we may not be economists. We don't need to go rack up more debt to get that degree, but it doesn't mean we can't think like one. So instead of focusing so much on our past investments, we can certainly learn from past experiences, but when you think about what you're going to invest in the future, focus on what is coming. Focus on what is going to be beneficial to you in the future, not what is going to justify past investments.